North Korea's nuclear test was a late addition to President Obama's State of the Union address, now coming just a day before the speech on Capitol Hill. Now, President Obama said that North Korea's leaders must know that they will only achieve security and prosperity by meeting their international obligations. Pyongyang has responded defiantly to international condemnation of its latest nuclear test, saying that it was an act of self-defense against continued hostility from the United States.
North Korea has few allies like Beijing, and in China, timing is important. Imagine the offence then, to hear that Pyongyang conducted its nuclear test amid celebrations of the Lunar New Year on an important Chinese public holiday. It added insult to injury. On Chinese state television, a statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was read out. China resolutely opposes North Korea's nuclear test, it said, the third since 2006. We strongly urge Pyongyang to abide by their promise to denuclearize and to take no further action to worsen the situation. China has used language like this in the past to little effect, but could it be different this time?
Swift and unanimous condemnation by the United Nations of a third nuclear test by North Korea.
I strongly condemn Pyongyang's reckless act, which shows outright disregard for the repeated call of the international community to refrain from further provocative measures.
The 15 members of the Security Council, including China, North Korea's longtime ally, urged Pyongyang to abandon its atomic ambitions.
The members were united in their condemnation of the test. South Korean Foreign Minister Kim Seung-hwan presided over the emergency session that lasted for an hour and a half and issued a press statement.
The members of the Security Council strongly condemned this test, which is a grave violation of Security Council resolution.
The U.S. ambassador to the UN, Susan Rice, echoed the strong criticism.
The actions of North Korea are a threat to regional peace and security, international peace and security, and they are not acceptable. They will not be tolerated, and they will be met with North Korea's increasing isolation and pressure under United Nations sanctions.
The Security Council was quick to condemn the test. It also responded quickly in December when North Korea successfully launched a long-range missile. The test could bring North Korea closer to developing a nuclear warhead that is small enough to be mounted on a missile.
South Koreans show their anger at North Korea's latest nuclear test, which has been denounced by all major powers, including Pyongyang's traditional ally, China. North Korea confirmed the test after international monitors recorded seismic activity consistent with a powerful underground explosion on Tuesday morning. Pyongyang residents applauded the test as their government said it would never bow to resolutions on its nuclear program, with Beijing likely to resist more sanctions which would weaken the North's economy, prompting a flood of refugees. Moscow's calling for more talks.
Some countries are now talking about drafting a new UN resolution, but what new measures could be put in place to put pressure on North Korea? Fresh sanctions? Well, North Korea has had sanctions in place now for some years. What about further isolating the country? Well, North Korea, known by many as the Hermit Kingdom, is probably already the most isolated country on earth.
Another possible option they have is enforcement action under Chapter 7 of the UN Charter. But North Korea's neighbour, China, would have severe reservations about that, and many other nations would balk at the idea of taking on militarily a country which is now closer to becoming a nuclear power.